sculptors, I'm Liz Morris of Peppermint Rose Productions, and today I'm going to show you how to make scented frosting, icing, and strawberry sauce in polymer clay. I've included a full list of tools and materials in the description, so let's go ahead and get started. For our buttercream frosting, I'm using Sculpey Premo clay in light pink to start. I'm just going to roll some clay into a little ball to condition it, and then we'll tear off little pieces and put them into one of the pots. Next, I'll add some Sculpey liquid polymer clay in Fuchsia. It's about a 2-to-1 ratio of solid clay to liquid clay to get a nice buttercream consistency. I'm using a sharp spatula tool to mix the clays together. The sharp end helps to break up the clay. Keep mixing until all the lumps are gone. This will probably take a few minutes. Okay, it's time to add fragrance. I'm using birthday cake premium fragrance oil from P&J. Ideally, use an oil with a drop counter nozzle to control the amount you put in. For these small amounts, I only use about 2 to 3 drops. Also, not that you would in this situation, but keep in mind never to use your fingers to apply or mix oils as they can cause allergic reactions to skin. Use a metal or silicone mixing tool instead. Just a note, I believe they've renamed this scent to cake batter instead of birthday cake. And honestly, cake batter still sounds amazing to me, so I'll probably get that whenever I run out of this one. The clay is going to get a little sticky looking, and that is due to the fragrance oil. If it's becoming too sticky, just add more solid clay. I've switched to a flat chisel tip silicone tool because it doesn't stick to the clay quite as much as the metal tool does. You can see the consistency is becoming a bit more frosting-like, but we're not quite there yet. I went ahead and added more solid clay and a couple more drops of fragrance oil. I still wasn't happy with the consistency, so I added a few final pieces of solid clay and mixed it in. There is a bit of an art to this, and it does take a little practice, but if you use your best judgment and keep balancing the solid, liquid, and fragrance ratios, you'll definitely get there. Here we go. This is about the consistency we're looking for. Okay, now let's start frosting. I highly recommend baking your cakes before spreading your frosting on. It makes applying the frosting much easier and you won't squish your cake sponge. I typically start frosting the top of the cake, then the back. I also frosted the middle layers, but they are optional. Now I'm going to apply alcohol to the frosting using both my cone-tipped and flat chisel silicone tools. The alcohol smooths the frosting, making it less sticky and easier to work with, plus it gives that beautiful palette knife look. And there you go, perfectly delicious buttercream frosting for your cakes. Making icing is a lot of fun and super versatile. You can use this technique as a base to make jams, sauces, melted ice cream, butter, or any other liquidy food. In keeping with the cake theme, we're going to mix up a birthday cake scented batch. I'm using a small glass jar to mix everything in. For our birthday cake icing, the consistency can vary, but generally we want it to be runny and thin. This would be perfect for the icing on a drip cake. We'll start by adding our trusty liquid Sculpey clay in Fuchsia again, and then adding some white liquid Sculpey, and then translucent liquid Sculpey, or TLS for short. Next, let's add 2 to 3 drops of birthday cake fragrance oil and mix everything till all the colors blend together and it becomes runny. The consistency is almost there, but it's still holding its shape a bit, so I'm going to add some liquid Sculpey Clear, which is pretty runny, and it will really thin everything out. If I wanted to make this more translucent, I would add more TLS. You can get some nice variation depending on what kind of liquid you're making. Many polymer clay artists also use Fimo liquid decorating gel or deco gel in place of TLS or clear liquid Sculpey to make their sauces. I haven't used it myself yet, but it's been on my wish list for a while. It's about $10 more compared with TLS, so I've been hesitant to get it if I can achieve the same effect for less with Sculpey's products. That said, if you use Fimo Deco Gel and think it's worth it, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you think it compares to Sculpey TLS or Sculpey Clear. At this point, the icing should be pretty liquidy. This is exactly what we want. Once you're happy with it, pour it in your plastic paint pot or glass container and keep it sealed. Now let's move on to my personal favorite, strawberry sauce. We'll start out by shaking up some red Cosclay liquid polymer and putting it in our mixing glass. Now we'll add a few drops of strawberry shortcake fragrance oil by P&J and blend everything together. Next we'll add liquid Sculpey clear to make it a little more runny. Then a little TLS. I think you'll find that part of the fun of making faux food liquids is that they are a bit like recipes. You can develop your own scents and textures and just make them completely unique. TLS has a little whiteness to it, and it can tint the color, making it paler, so I'm going to offset this by just adding a little more red liquid clay. For the last step, we're going to add red craft sand to the sauce. You can find craft sand in the dollar store or at your local craft store. I love using this for strawberry sauce or jam because the sand gives the impression of seeds. At this point, it's pretty runny and I'd like the sauce to be a little thicker. Plus, I want the seeds to be visible, so I'm going to just keep adding more sand and more TLS. Okay, this consistency is looking better, but I still want to add a bit more thickness in seeds. So, you guessed it, more sand, more TLS. Oh my god. Is it? Really? I think I finally got it. Yep, it looks like strawberry sauce and it smells fantastic. Now we'll just pour and store this lovely sauce into our paint pot. And our strawberry shortcake scented sauce is done. Now that you know the basics of how to make scented frosting, icing, and sauces, I know you'll enjoy making all kinds of wonderful creations. And if you keep them stored properly, they'll last quite a while. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did making it. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe. More delicious Sculpts videos are in the works. Till next time, happy sculpting!